look, what can you say about Texas? That storm Harvey continues to hover over the area, just pummeling the area with rain and water and floods. I'm sure all of you have seen the images of the streets just turned into rivers, which, by the way, appears to have been a pre-planned design for such floodings. But nevertheless, it's heartbreaking to actually watch. People's lives are at stake. But again, I told you last time that we were going to see amazing things. We were going to see the character and the heart of the United States of America. And so despite the fact that the rainfall record has been broken, specifically at Cedar Bayou, they recorded 51.88 inches of rain, breaking the record. 13,000 people have been rescued. That's right. 13,000 people have been rescued. The contributions are coming in fast and furious. People are being overwhelmed with the response, and overwhelming in a spiritual sense, definitely not in a material sense, because whatever we can contribute will probably be insufficient to get help to these folks in time. So the global warmists, of course, are taking advantage of this, and being that they are virtually all from the left, are taking this right out of the Saul Alinsky playbook. As many of you know, Saul Alinsky is an author that has been complimented by the likes of Hillary Clinton and Rahm Emanuel, and among other things, one of the things that Saul Alinsky talked about was to never lose the opportunity of taking advantage of a crisis. If you have a crisis, then that's an opportunity to pass legislation that will essentially oppress the people. That was his philosophy. And so, of course, the global warmingists are continuously trying to point out ways that, whether they are meritful ways or not, and they more often do it when they don't have sufficient merit, but whether they have merit or not, they try to point out practically any weather disturbance in our Earth and try to turn it into a cataclysmic event that is certainly a sign of the skies falling and the imminent demise of humanity. This is no exception. You're starting to see the global warmingists call Harvey, or blame global warming on Harvey. But in point of fact, this is absolutely a non-truth. What's happening with Harvey is very simple. We have a massive storm, a storm that is generally occurring at this time of the year, August. Remember, the biggest, most catastrophic storms in terms of power tend to occur in August, September, and October. That's why the hurricane season doesn't end until we get to November. So this notion that somehow Harvey is some sort of exception in its formation is actually a non-truth. However, Chicken Little enjoys going out there and telling everybody that the sky is falling. The second point that you need to know is that despite its strength and despite the fact that it has been pummeling Texas for such a long period of time, in point of fact, the only reason why Harvey is doing this is because Harvey got stuck. And Harvey got stuck because there's two cold front, high-pressure weather patterns that are just to the north of Texas, keeping it from moving away. That's really what this is about. What is cataclysmical about Harvey is not its incredible strength. That's not what it was. This is all about. It's about its persistence, the fact that it has stayed in the area for days and days and days, just pummeling people with rain. And the reason why it's done this is not because of some climactic change or some climactic disaster that we have heretofore never seen, i.e. the temperatures are just going through the roof, and therefore we have this incredible cataclysmic storm. That's not what's going on here. What's going on here is very simple. The storm did exactly what it was supposed to do, which is steer in a northwesterly direction, like pretty much all of them do, enters the Gulf of Mexico, gets strengthened, and then once it hits Texas, tragically, it gets stuck. It gets stuck to the south of two massive high pressure fronts, and it can't get out. That's what we're talking about. Despite whatever theories the global warmingists are trying to portray. Look, in 2015, 41.7 inches fell in Chetumal, which is in Mexico, in the Yucatan Peninsula. The same month, which was late in the summer, also brought 58.7 inches in Coatzacoalcos in Veracruz, Mexico. In 2013, Ingrid and Manuel, two storms hit together next to each other, hit Mexico. And it hit the Yucatan Peninsula in September. Manuel did. Ingrid went to the north. Manuel went north, got caught by the steering currents, just like Harvey did in Texas, turns back and hits the Yucatan Peninsula with 43.6 inches of rain. 43.6 inches of rain in Acapulco. Oh, well, that's still recent. Okay, 1966, Hurricane Inez hits Hispaniola. Massive amounts of rain, killing over 1,000 people. We don't know how many inches of rain fell in Hispaniola because we're not really keeping track of that in that area in 1966. In 1934, another storm hit Belize. Over 3,000 people died in Belize. In the Yucatan Peninsula, I think it was 2013, over 1,000 people died from protracted, just ongoing sheets of rain. This is not... Look, I'm not minimizing anything about Harvey. Harvey is a terrible disaster that's affecting the people in Texas, and it's affecting our country, and is going to have a major effect on our economy. And as the FEMA personnel have already said, the cleanup and the recovery is going to take years. We got that. But don't let the leftists fool you into believing that this is some sort of exceptional event that we have not seen throughout the world in recorded history, and make you believe that this is some result of their calls for global warming that they have not been able to prove. So we go from there to, of course, this argument that perhaps it's due to an unusual warm climate in the Gulf of Mexico for this time of year. Well, I happen to have looked that up for us. So what do you think the average temperature for the water temperature for Pensacola is in August? Average temperature, 86 degrees Fahrenheit. What do you think it is right now? 82.2. Okay, that's cooler for those of you in Loma Linda. I'm borrowing from Rush. For those of you in Loma Linda, 82 degrees, which is what it is today, while Harvey is churning, is cooler than the 86 mean temperature degrees that Pensacola is used to for this time of year. Naples, to the south, still in the Gulf of Mexico, 87 degrees is their average temperature. In Naples right now, 85.3. It is cooler than the average temperature. St. Pete, 86 degrees. What's the temperature now? 86.7 degrees. Mobile, Alabama, right next to Harvey. 86 degrees is the average temperature. The temperature is 84.2 for the water temperature right now. So the argument that this has something to do with global warming or increasing temperature in the Gulf of Mexico that's causing this storm to be excessively powerful and drop sheets of rain, number one, is a downright lie. And it is a purposeful lie. It is a purposeful lie because it is being done to promote an agenda. The agenda is global warming. Look, there may be global warming going on. I don't know. It is a complicated question. It is a very intricate question. It is a multifactorial question. The reason why we're not able to answer the question about whether there's real sustained climate warming or global warming or climate change going on in the planet beyond what we would be expecting. Beyond what we would be expecting. So, everybody knows the weather changes every day. So the question is the climate changing to an extent that is more than what we would be expecting? The reason why we can't answer this question is because it's an incredibly multifactorial, incredibly difficult question to answer with multiple, even unforeseen factors that have either mitigating effects or exacerbating effects. And so we can't answer the question. And so then to take the second leap, which is, well, it's due to human activity, that brings in an equally large and uncertain number of concepts and factors that we're not able to take into account. And so the question remains essentially unanswered. But to come out and take advantage of these kinds of situations and lie and somehow make a false scientific argument, okay, let me correct that, an unscientific argument in the hopes that you will scare the general public into submission to your argument is antithetical to what it means to have a public policy discussion, and is exactly what these people want. Why? Because they have nothing. They've got no arguments. They've got no facts. They've got no new ideas. I know I'm going off to a different topic, but they are all related. When you see things like Antifa, and you see all this disruptive behavior from the left, and these ridiculous conversations that are coming from the left, you know why they're doing it? Because they've got nothing. They've run out of ideas, they run out of candidates, and all they're doing is gasping for sensationalism. That's what they're doing. And they're hoping that you'll bite. So as it relates to Harvey is a monumental disaster. My heart's thoughts and prayers go to the people in Texas and anybody who's affected by this. And again, once again, I told you that there's going to be enormous positive interventions and interactions by American citizens, normal, run-of-the-mill, not emergency-trained American citizens that are going to come in and save the day, both in money and in effort. But don't tell me that this fits your political agenda, and don't be disgusting enough to change the facts to morph into some sort of political agenda that doesn't really exist. That's not what this is about. This is about a cataclysmic event that's affecting people's lives, and we need to help them. We need to help them now. My name is Dr. Julio Gonzalez, and you're listening to the Federalist Pages.